Welcome to Sikh Express. We are here with Madam Harinder Chaudhary, and we would be talking about the recent case which she has filed in the Supreme Court, and the right angle would be how Madam takes up this issue in the days to come. So, Madam, what are your preparations to present this case and take it further?
We were supposed to file the suggestions as per 16th February order of the Supreme Court, and today our last stage of filing conclusions, report of advisory committee which I formed with experts in every field. These experts include sociologists, psychologists, neurologists, professors, doctors, two mothers who, being Sikhs, have brought up the children struggling hard with this ridiculing environment. This also, our advisory committee also includes the students who are studying various courses and have suffered bullying, and the advisory committee report runs into a few volumes. We have filed. We have also given the conclusions of the advisory committee. The conclusions, suggestions, format of guidelines, prefatory statements in the beginning, which gives the entire detail as to what compels me and the others to approach to the Supreme Court to seek redressal of this pain which we are feeling due to this ridiculing environment. And now the court has to
What kind of remedy are you expecting from this Supreme Court?
There are four proposals we have thought of and given to the court. One, there should be guidelines of Sikh anti-bullying and prevention against Sikh-centric or Sikh ethnic jokes or ridiculing environment having been spreaded through jokes in the society verbally. And for that we have given the title to the suggestions as anti-bullying guidelines. Second proposal we have given as dignity protection guidelines to protect dignity of the Sikh community. Third, we have given the mechanism how it is going to act. We have these few proposals we are giving to the court. One, there is a possibility of constituting a dignity commission. Two, human rights courts. Three, dignity tribunal can be there. Fourth, dignity commission. Or the fifth could be that there can be a minority commission specifically and specially constituted to eradicate this menace of ridiculing Sikh population in the name of casual fun or jokes or humor, or portraying the Sikh community as jokers in the films. Recently this Santa Banta Private Limited has come, which is, and Sing is Bling and all, in which the dress of a Sikh is distorted ever so much that generally funny costume is shown to have been worn by a Sikh person. For example, in Santa Banta Private Limited, the two Sikh gentlemen are shown to be in a lined underwear with a blazer and with a pistol in the hands, which is not a correct portrayal of the Sikhs. Sikhs are very handsome, they are very dynamic, they are very good looking, and the pagdi gives grace to every human being. And pagdi is very putatively accepted as a proper dress norm in the concept of sociology. Sardar Patels wear pagdi. Many communities, Jat community wears pagdi in Haryana. In Rajasthan also, the Jat community wears pagdi, and it's very graceful in most of the weddings of all the communities. The Muslims also wear cap, topi which is covering the head, and I think it is for example, a person going on a wedding cannot go in a bikini or in a scantily dressed up manner. There are the dress norms. A woman of 65 cannot wear a short dress. Similarly, on many occasions, there are dress norms. There are social norms. There are the schemas of how to live life.
Madam, in your case, which are the organizations which have come forward to support you on this issue?
The major two bodies, Jammu and Kashmir Sikh Gurdwara Management Committee, which represents a few lakhs of people residing in the entire Kashmir region. This is a statutory body under the Act. Second body is Haryana Sikh Gurdwara Management Committee, which represents more Sikhs in number than the Delhi Sikh Gurdwara Management Committee. First, there is an SGPC. Second, Haryana Sikh Gurdwara Management Committee, and then it follows on. And we have got few, some 50-60 Guru Singh Sabhas. Sangat has come to us, and I believe these Gurdwara Management Committees are not there to represent the Sikhs. They are there only to the management of Gurdwara affairs. The Sangat has come to me, and we are holding meetings in most of the Gurdwaras, and I've got many signature campaigns from Ahmedabad, from Bombay, from Srinagar, from Rajasthan, from UP. Many Singh Sabhas have come with the signatures, which run into thousands. You can see the volumes everywhere in the chamber. You can see the volumes.
How many people of your community, the lawyer community, are in support of this?
I think everyone is in support of me now. Initially there was a problem. Initially I was fun at, I was ridiculed, I was mocked, because they were because I think they have not read the subject. I have read the subject for the past 30 years, how the ridiculing is done, and I felt it. Sometimes the realization is not there. Sometimes there is a very known concept of sociology, learning helplessness. So they've learned helplessness. There is a concept by Sile on stress. On stress, he says how stress develops. There is an experiment which I have quoted in my submissions, that an experiment was done on mice. The animal was put into cage every day. For several days this went on. One fine day, the person conducting the experiment came to know, decided not to close the door of the cage. See, the helplessness which was accepted by the animal was ever so practically trained thing became for him, that he coolly went and sat in the cage. Similarly, this example I have quoted to make it clear before the court as to how helplessness has become a learning. This concept is known as learned helplessness. So that is there. People in my community are now with me. After the more people are joining my movement, so it has enriched people. The people have got educated by having heard through media as to how the labeling theory is affecting the human being. Sikh community is a part of large human family in the world, and I believe the international covenants and conventions clearly say that bad treatment cannot be given to any citizen of any country. Every country has to implement such laws and mechanisms to stop and prevent the citizens from such a ridiculing environment. This hampers the mental health of a human being, and I maintain mental health is not what only is experienced through the outward behavior of a human being, which is talking excessively, several other symptoms. Mental health means being able to reproduce in proportion to the existing potential of a human being. If my quality of reproduction is let up or reduced, my mental health gets violated. And my third concept is how my mental hygiene is violated. after in the year 1909, after the First World War, people started suffering from haunting experiences, mental experiences. They started imagining the bombs are being thrown on their heads. Similarly, when you cut a joke, when you create a ridiculing environment around Sikh, it gives a haunting experience to the human being after the emotional incident is over. And with our case, these incidents are so common, so accepted, that we have become metaphors and similes for the other communities. If anybody does...
Do you think that the constitution needs to be changed for these kind of things?
No, constitution is already changed. In 1973, the Supreme Court is a dynamic, living institution, and we've got the best judges, and especially the Chief Justice T.S. Thakur has got an intelligence which is a spiritual intelligence also, because it was only him, he could understand that how labeling theory is going on and people are suffering. I would refer to Justice A.K. Sikri and U.U. Lalit. They were very practically wise, and they could understand that, and they clearly declared that undignified behavior towards any community can never be tolerated. And after Keshwanand Bharati's judgment, fate of Indian citizen has changed. So constitution has changed. Word secularism has been added in the preamble. And now after Keshwanand Bharati's judgment, it has been laid down that no law, no government can introduce any new law or misuse the law to curtail the basic structure of Indian constitution. And what is basic structure? Basic structure is fundamental rights of a human being. And what is fundamental right of a Sikh? Propagate religion, to follow the Sikh faith, to attire, to exist as an independent race. There cannot be any discrimination stemming out of Article 14, which is equality and equal protection of laws. Article 16, no discrimination in the opportunity of any public employment. Article 21, which gives the power, which is the right to life. Right to life means to live with dignity, as that of laid down in Menka Gandhi's case, and also Maneka Gandhi. Menka Gandhi's case and Khadak Singh's case, in which domiciliary visits by the police personnel was held to be violative of dignity. Also, this after introduction of 42nd Amendment in the Constitution, aftermath of Keshwanand Bharati's judgment, the Supreme Court has been able to control the menace created by the governments, many governments, by trying to do something to curtail the fundamental rights. They are not able to do it. So I don't think the more amendment is needed in the constitution. No, only the interpretation, only the guidelines at the moment. And our next move would be to draft the bill ourselves in a democratic process and call the special session of the parliament and request the government. It's only the matter of education. I'm putting all efforts to educate people all over the world. I've got messages, I've got connected with the many people in America, Canada, France, Italy, UK, Australia. And we have been receiving messages. People are coming to meet me, and people are coming out.
Can the law really restrict anybody from cracking jokes or making cartoons?
See, there has to be a prohibitory direction. Whenever people used to, for decades together, more than a century almost, and even much before that, there was always the scheduled caste people, scavengers class was always called chamar, or some rude words were used for them. So I mean, a new act came, SC/ST Act. After that act, nobody can dare to use such derogatory words for this class. And in section 18 of that act prohibits even the anticipatory bail. and there was a judgment which challenged this section in the Supreme Court, that this section is discriminatory, section 18. The Supreme Court confirmed the validity of the section, observing that if the person who is a powerful man and calls somebody is doing this nature of a work, after coming out he will definitely torture the person more. So the Supreme Court is very visionary, and very genius kind of judges are there, and they do understand how to control this. And what else were you saying? If it doesn't slip out.
Can anybody stop
yes,
a
why
person
not?
for cracking
yes.
jokes or making cartoons?
All right. One, there have to be directions. Why can't they stop? Earlier, before this prevention of women from sexual harassment at the workplace came into actual existence, there was in 1996 a woman was gang raped, and on that an NGO filed a petition in the Supreme Court, Vishakha versus State of Rajasthan. Now in that case, the women demanded protection against sexual harassment. Nobody could believe, firstly, that the women will come out. Secondly, that the women can talk about the sexual offense having been committed against them. Thirdly, whether there can be any mechanism to control this. So, I mean, all these things happened. So, I say that when the guidelines come, and the guidelines we have made are done through a great democratic process, and I think it will be very difficult to find another person with spiritual intelligence as that of Justice T.S. Thakur ever again, and his spiritual intelligence is definitely going to pierce into this issue, and he has already given his mind that and he's saying it since he has become the Chief Justice, and even before becoming the Chief Justice he said that humanity has to be protected. And second philosophy of this great judges, that secularism should not be broken, and he is also conscious that the national integrity and public good, law and order and orderliness in the country is maintained.
Now we take a short break, but do not go away. Madam would be telling us more about the issue of dignity of the Sikhs. But hampering or putting restrictions on jokes
Yes.
and cartoons, is it not restricting the
freedom of
expression?
It is freedom of expression has got a rider also. You cannot enjoy anything at the cost of somebody else, and it is not a humor at all. The freedom of expression curtailing happiness of the other person, as that of as said by American Constitution and one of the judgments of Supreme Court, that life is not life only to enjoy the animal existence. Life is to have the happiness, leisure, joy. These are all important ingredients, and Indian Supreme Court has also said in many judgments that fullest enjoyment of life is also covered under the fundamental right to life. Therefore, this kind of guidelines, when they come, and I tell you, judges in the Supreme Court are very effective, very forceful, very powerful. Their directions are going to be so framed, and it is going to be so effective that this menace will definitely stop. Now, your second segment of the question, which may be arising in many minds, is how to remove these jokes from the websites, from the social media. For that, the web filters will be installed. If the directions come, the jokes have to be removed immediately, and if still the jokes come, and any observer, any person who sees it from Sikh community or anyone else files a report, we have given the proposal to the Supreme Court how the mechanism is going to effectively work. On that, the complaint will go to the various bodies, and immediately the person will be arrested, because this can be found out who's doing it, and all these website owners, all these people who are doing harm to the society, to the community. You see, it is so strange that this community who's done a lot and it's a very chivalrous community, and this has learnt by the
in
passage
India,
of time.
okay, maybe we can imagine that, okay, Supreme Court rulings and other things can be done to
Stop
get
this.
away with this menace. But what happens to because now media has become a global medium of expression. Now, how would you restrict the international diaspora of not making fun or
Yes.
putting jokes?
Yes.
What is the remedy for
what
that?
I cull out from your question is, and I've prepared on that, you say that the offense of this kind of nature, which is a floating nature, which has a floating property in it, and as soon as the joke goes travels to another country, the law of that country comes into play. And how it would happen? How would it happen? I mean, in the various countries, and especially when the spreader is not even known who's doing it. It is very difficult to find out. For that there is a study relating to cyber forensics. We are requesting the court. We have filed all those submissions. How in cyber media it can be stopped? How in the internet this can? We have made Google and Facebook parties, and there has to be a mechanism evolved how to stop all this from the media. And maybe that since it's all countries have to be involved. I've been able to speak to certain dignitaries of some countries, and very soon it will happen that we may have to have some treaties with the other countries, and it may be it has to be defined as I'm working on that, as to how the definition itself is it's a very deep scientific subject. Language is a deep scientific subject. Language has developed with evolution of time. So now,
Madam, can I ask you a very simple and straightforward question in the end, that how many years do you expect a judgment from the Supreme Court or the lawmakers to come so that this thing can be implemented, whatever you're saying?
see, court has, I don't think such a question should be asked, because it's very clear. On 22nd August, I filed the petition, and the Supreme Court has, and we have filed hundreds of volumes. Every aspect has been covered. Language has been covered, definition has been covered, sociological factors have been covered, psychological factors have been covered, constitution has been covered, all cartoons, films, titles, all this kind of material which has been banned because of the reasons, because on the grounds that they affected the human mind, has already been filed. And we have also filed big volumes on the cyber media and how it can be controlled. And with this kind of highly intelligent judges and this kind of democratic setup and the living legendary constitution of India and high democratic values, I think this should be, only a law has to be passed, only guidelines will come, I think on 5th, and very soon. Justice Thakur does not delay anything. Once he decides that, once he finds out that it is a matter of dignity or even in many judgments he has said even one day in the imprisonment of a person when he is declared innocent is a violation of, and the Supreme Court, you see, many judges have passed the judgments. Why Buller's case and many other cases, why the death has been converted to life? Because the sword was hanging on the accused's head for several years after mercy petition. So the court is very conscious, and in this matter, when the people are suffering so badly, and we have filed lakhs of messages, I think it will happen very soon, maybe 2 months, maybe 1 month. And I have my team and myself have worked so hard, and I am so indebted to the 4 judges. Justice A.K. Sikri, the Chief Justice, I call him dignity protector judge. And Justice A.K. Sikri, Justice Juju Lalit, Justice Bhanumati, they are all working very hard to see to it that how shortest possible time is taken to stop this, and I think we'll be able to do it. I mean, we have not taken long time. I mean, on 5th the matter is fixed for directions, for some kind of suggestions, and we have already done the job. We have already done, and I have not lifted the material from any other media. I've drawn it myself, considering what are the problems, based on the messages, based on the various views taken from all the countries, all the states, and from every profession. And I think it should happen within 3-4 months.
Okay, all the best for your endeavor.
I'm very, very thankful to you for your kind consideration and thinking that please, it is a request to the entire media. We are like any other human being, and we are very dignified. Give us the minimum possible dignity which is given to any other community. Thank you.
Welcome to Sikh Express program Right Angle. Today we are in Chandigarh to interview Professor G.S. Chillo. We have exclusive story on Akali BJP government in